Alright, so I'm Nicole, or We Built the Pyramids on Tumblr, or I Love My Lab 93 on Twitter, and I came up with the idea to copy Americ from Happy Cool's Mentalist tag game from a few years ago. Sorry if I'm cocking my head weird during this, I'm trying to, stop the laptop glare. So I'm choosing to upload mine when I post the questions, so people have an idea of how it works and no one has to worry about going first. I'm doing a video, but whatever you're comfortable with, do an audio post if you don't want your face to be seen. I'm 22, my face is already out there. I co-host a podcast, so people know what I look like. There's pictures of me on my blog and my Twitter, it's not a secret, so this is how I'm doing it. But do an audio post if you don't want to do it this way, it's totally cool. Now, some of the questions, there are, let me see, I believe there's 13 in total, which it's totally stupid, but part of the reason why I made it 13 was people say that 13 is a lucky number superstitiously, but, I feel like the Scorpion team would just feel like that's really stupid, so they wouldn't have any qualms about the number 13, so I figured I would go with that. And also that's just because that's how it worked out, let's be honest. So I made the questions, some of them I based off of the Mentalist game from a few years ago, some of the Tumblr cyclones suggested to me, so thank you for those, and others I have created based off of stuff I've seen the fandom discuss, stuff like that. If you want to participate, make sure to tag your post on Tumblr with Scorpion Fan Interview. That'll categorize it, and we can track that tag if we want to see what everyone says. Alright, so here we go. Where's the questions? Okay. Who is your favorite character and why? Okay, Toby's my favorite character. I love his sarcasm. I love his hat. I love the way that he's, totally judgy toward his friends, but, not in a way that he comes off as mean most of the time, just someone who, knows them really well and who can be that way toward them. I love his sense of humor. I love so much, just how much he believes in him and Happy. I've, never seen a character so sure they belong with someone this early in the show, and, to the extent that Toby does. He's there, he knows, and it's just beautiful, and I have so many fanbits that make him once the season is over, but, yeah, Toby is just perfect. I'd say he's absolutely my favorite. When I started watching the show, Paige was my favorite just because she's a mom, and being a mom is something that I really would like to do at some point in my life, and so whenever there's mom characters, I get really attached to them really quick, but I love all of them, but I think Toby's my favorite. So the second question, what is your favorite episode and why? Well, there hasn't been an episode I haven't liked, but Dominoes is my favorite. It's one of the ones that I got to watch live when it initially aired. I watched the pilot, and I watched the first, 3, and then it's my last year at university, so I got really busy with that kind of stuff, and I fell behind, but I was still watching whenever I could, so I watched in order, but I was skipping some, but Dominoes is one that I was able to see when it aired. It was the most intense episode so far, I think. Young Heart Spark Fire was intense, but, at the same time, you knew that they were going to be okay. The thing that's going to go on with Walter in the finale, we know he's not going to die. So it wasn't as stressful. But yeah, it was a holiday episode. I love holiday episodes. I loved, Paige trying to holiday spirit, and they're all I don't think so, but then at the end it was great. It had Megan and Ralph both in it, which is very important to me that Megan and Ralph are present. And I know I already said intense, but holy crap. I loved all the technology they use. I love when kids are involved because I love kids, and it really gets me emotionally attached, and that was a really cool kid. I really want him to pop up again at some point. The only thing about it is it's really hard for me to watch, and that does not take away from the quality of the episode at all. Like I said, it's my favorite. I hate this laptop glare. But I'm a competitive swimmer, okay? I swam competitively from 2002 to 2011. I've been in the water my whole life. I'm very comfortable in it. I'm much more comfortable in pools than open water just because I've done so much competitive swimming and so little, water fun that when I get in, an ocean, I'm okay, what do? There's not a starting block. There's not a wall. How am I supposed to train in this? It's open. It's weird. But, you know, drowning is not something that I normally concern myself with. Like, I feel like it's very unlikely that I would ever drown compared to other potential ways to die. Like, I'm pretty sure the way I'm going to die is I will think a 2-way stop is a 4-way stop, and it won't be, because that gets me all the time. I'll be stopping, and then I'll try to go, and I'm like, oh, there's a car. So, yeah, I'm much more likely to do that than drown. But because I'm so good at swimming, one of the things that is the most terrifying to me is the idea of being in a situation where water could kill me, and knowing how to swim, it won't matter. It doesn't matter if I'm Michael Phelps or if I've never had to hold my breath underwater before. And the situation that Owen was in Domino's, no matter what kind of swimmer you were, if that area filled up, you were going to die. And so that stressed me out a lot. Even when I rewatch it, I've only been able to rewatch it once, even though it's my favorite episode, because it gets me so worked up. Like, even now talking about it, my heart is racing. So I basically start crying, like, as soon as they get Owen on the webcam, and I don't stop crying until the end of the episode. Yeah, my EQ is pretty extreme. I get super emotional about everything. Yeah, so basically I was having a panic attack the first time that thing aired, but I really like it. Okay, my favorite ship and why. Well, Wage is my favorite ship. I don't really know why. It's just certain ships. I kind of have a type, and it's the, you know, focused on angst at first, kind of slow burn type. And, you know, until these finale spoilers started surfacing, I really thought that Wage was going to be like my first ship ever, and to this day my top ship is Sarah Mackenzie and Harmon Rabb from JAG. And, you know, Mac showed up in the season 2 premiere, and her and Harm got together in the series finale, which was season 10, episode 22. So it's very, you know, they were very slow burn. They were in love with each other in season 4. They basically admitted it to each other in season 6, and they still didn't get together into season 10, and that's really the kind of thing I was thinking Wage was going to be. So now I'm not really sure what's going on. They might be moving a little too quickly for me, and I mean, if something happens with them, I'm going to be screaming, I'm going to be crying, I'm going to be gifting, I'm going to be reblogging the gifs, but I'm still going to be like, oh, season 2 is going to be a rough ride. But yeah, it's just something that I've just been drawn to them. Even when I wasn't watching, like, totally with everybody else, I was calling my dad, like, Tuesdays, and I'd be like, so, what happened with Walter and Paige in the last episode? And, so, yeah, they just kind of held a hold on me, and I don't really know what it is, but, yeah. Okay, do you have any theories about what specifically they're going to find out in Cliffhanger that causes all the drama? Now, here's proof that I did not tailor these questions to what I want to talk about, because no, I have no idea. I'm actually wondering if maybe what actually went on with Cade and Walter isn't at all what we've been told. Like, it might be something worse, and Walter was fed that story, as bad as it was, because, oh, this is bad enough, he'll believe it's true, but it's still not as bad as what actually happened, but I have no idea what that's going to be. I don't even have any theories, so yeah, I don't know. Okay, what character do you relate to the most? This one's hard. I relate to Paige because I am way more EQ than IQ. I relate to Sly because I have anxiety. I relate to Toby because of the sarcasm. I relate to Happy because of the take no shit. But honestly, I think I may relate to Walter the most. Walter is... I'm asexual, which means I don't get attracted to people. Like, I'll say, like, oh, I have a crush on this celebrity or this, but, like, people in my real life, I find it weird. Like, people will hit on me or they'll want to hook up with me, and it'll just be, like, the last thing on my mind. And I'm always paranoid when people are friendly to me that they're flirting, because I'm just like, oh my god, like, what if we, like, can't be friends? What if you actually like me? Because it's happened before. Like, one of my best friends growing up told me he had feelings for me, and we don't talk anymore because it got awkward. And so Just not really, I understand it in the sense that I ship, but I don't want that for me. And I mean, I'm not saying Walter's asexual. He may be demisexual. I'm not sure if he's aromantic or not, but I'm thinking he might be demi. But just the fact that he's all like, no, there's other things I'm not really interested. I don't really like. Like, I'll hug people if I'm friends with them, but I'm not big on touching people or anything like that. And so I kind of relate to him in that way. And I'm really bad. I feel like I'm really bad at if I ever would have feelings for someone, I wouldn't know how to handle them. So I do relate to Walter in that sense. Okay, number 6 is, if Drew remains permanently in Portland, do you think we'll see more or less of Ralph in season 2? I'd like to think we'd see more of him, but I'm kind of worried because he kind of vanished while Drew was in Portland this time, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe they might use, oh, he's with his dad, as like an excuse to not have Ralph there. And Ralph's really important. Like, in a way, Ralph is really why Paige was brought in. And Ralph is why Paige was brought in, but like, Ralph's kind of like how they all bonded with Paige, and he's really important, you know. None of them have father figures in their life, and so, or none of them did, because I know Happy's dad's kind of in the picture now, but it's kind of late, dude, she's an adult. So I feel like it's important that he's there, but if the writers ever feel like they can't use him or he'd be too hard to work in, they would probably just use he's with his dad. Okay, what exactly do you think of Drew? Another way I'm like happy is I have trust issues, which I don't know why I do. Well, I do know why I do. Nothing's ever happened with my family. My parents, neither of them are Drews or Mr. Quinns. I was born in 1993. My parents have been married since 1985. And we're a very, I guess, typical family. Like, my mom and dad, they were the only one that the other one ever dated. So neither of them have been married before. They have 2 kids. We have a dog. Like, we're very, like, stereotype 50s white family in that way. So fortunately, and I know how lucky I am, I have had 2 very supportive, very present parents my entire life. But friends of mine haven't. And so the Drews that I have known, even though my dad's name is Michael, which Drew may or may not be short for, but my dad is not a Drew. The Drews that I have known in real life, my friends' parents, or in some cases my friends' exes, they don't normally really make amends. They normally want 2 things. They either want to get back with the mom, which is fine. I'm not saying this in a, Drew threatens wage way. I'm saying it in a, like, they'll pretend to be, this one guy, he pretended to be interested in his daughter to win the mother back. And then once him and the mother were back together, he started like not paying attention to the daughter anymore. And the mom smartened up really quick. But I don't want that to happen to Paige or Ralph because that'll hurt both of them. Another one is they really do have good intentions, but then when it comes down to actually committing to, like, beyond the first couple of months, continuing to be in their kids' lives, they sort of, like, fade off again. And I've seen that happen too. And I'm not saying it happens all the time, but it's just my personal experience. And since I'm not a very trusting person at the start, like, I went through high school and people were talking about all the drama and how it's just like the movies. And I was all like, it's not just like the movies. What are you talking about? Because if someone screws me over, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm done with you. And I move on. And, I don't really give second chances. And they usually don't come looking for them either. And I'm not saying that it's the best way to handle things, just how I've done it. And so if there was a Drew in my life, I would just be like, okay, you had your chance, you blew it, you're out, I'm moving on. If I had a kid involved, I'd like to think I would do the right thing, and which is what Paige is doing. But I don't know, because I'm not in that situation. Plus, like, I'm sorry, like, I said this on Tumblr, like, on Reblog comments, but I love hating Drew because Toby does. Toby kind of, like, if Toby were to come in one day and be like, Drew's my favorite person in the world, Drew might become my favorite person in the world. Like, when it comes to Drew, Toby influences me so much. Like, I basically think of him what Toby does. So he's fun to hate because Toby does. But, if he's gonna stick around and be a stand-up guy and be in Ralph's life, then I'm gonna be fine with him. But as of right now, I don't trust him. Alright, so number 8 is, how long do you think it'll take Happy to forgive Toby, and do you think in order to be forgiven, Toby will have to prove himself again? I think he's going to have to prove himself, but not necessarily make a big gesture, but just continue to be there for her. Like, build her trust back rather than, like, do one thing. Like, if you pick up a dog from, like, an animal shelter that had been abused, you know, taking it home doesn't always magically make it trust you. You don't have to do, like, incredible things for it. You know, you don't have to, like, its old owner comes back and you have to, like, save it or something. But you have to, like, feed it. You have to love on it. You have to give it you know, you have to do all that stuff. And I feel like for Happy to forgive Toby and get her trust in him back. No, I mean, their working relationship is great. Like, that's not affected at all, and I think that's fantastic. But in terms of their personal relationship, I feel like he's just going to have to be consistent and just build some of that back. I hope it happens by the finale. I can't, like, how am I supposed to go through the entire summer knowing that Quintus is still, you know, on the rocks? Like, I wouldn't like that at all, and I hate this glare, but now I can't see. Okay, the next question, number 9, is which not blood-related father-son dynamic do you prefer, Cabe Walter or Walter Ralph? Walter Ralph. I love the Cabe Walter relationship, but I have a soft spot for when relationships like this actually involve kids. So I have to go Walter Ralph. Plus, you know, I like how, you know, Ralph has a dad, and again, if Drew is going to be there, then that's great. I don't want Walter to, like, take over being his dad. If he wants to be a stepdad at some point, that'd be cool, but, you know, he doesn't have to take over unless Drew F's up. But, just because Walter and all the group, like I said before, doesn't have, you know, great father figures in their life, I really love that Walter's, like, trying to, you know, he's like, you're one of us, and we all wanted someone, you know, this is the team in general, too, but, like, the team in general, they would want someone, they wanted someone when they were younger, like Walter, to be their father figure, and Walter, you know, has a father figure, and that father figure has let him down, but they're bonding again. Oh, God, Cliffhanger's gonna kill me. And I just really like that he wants to kind of, like, pay it forward and make sure that Ralph is taken care of, not in the sense that Paige isn't a good mom, but just in the I understand where you're coming from because I, too, am gifted sense. Okay, what sort of things would you like to see happen in Season 2? This could be storyline-wise, character development, ship development. Alright, I want that origin story episode. I'm just crossing my fingers it does not depict Ralph's conception. So I want the origin story episode a lot. I want more Ralph with the team. I want Quintus to work things out if they have not already. If something happens with Wage in the finale, I don't want major destruction next year, but mature progression. Walter would still be Walter, like in the pilot where he scheduled his breakup, where it would be like the most efficient part of his day. Like, I was laughing, but at the same time, I'm like, I kind of relate to that. This is why I shouldn't do relationships. He'd still be like that to an extent, and him and Paige would work through it. If Wage doesn't happen in the next season, or in the finale, I want there to be slow but steady progression with them next season. I also think it would be really cool if they got together, but went several seasons, like, without sleeping together. Just because, you know, of Walter, and he would have to, like, get to that point and everything. And I would just love to kind of see them be in a relationship, like, not on Walter's terms, because Paige has Ralph, that's important. And, like, he would have to be there for them, but in terms of, like, physical stuff and milestones, I think Paige would be totally willing to let Walter take the lead on that, as long as he was there for her in, like, an emotional way. And as long as he was good to Ralph, which she already knows he is. He's fantastic with Ralph. I also want Walter to cure Megan, but as there isn't an actual cure for MS, I'm really scared that isn't going to happen. I'm thinking that they might find a way to, like, slow her progression until there might be an actual real-life cure, or they would kill her off, which would make me really sad. Okay, 12, who is your favorite guest star? Can't decide on this. It's either Linda Hunt or David James Elliott. Linda Hunt, because she played her character from NCIS Los Angeles, Hetty, and that means that JAG, NCIS, which came from JAG, NCIS Los Angeles, which came from NCIS, and Scorpion all exist in the same universe, which is something I really like to think. And David James Elliott is the other one because he was Harmon Rab on JAG, and he's one of my favorite actors, and I think he's super good looking. If you didn't think so in Scorpion, like, just watch season 2 of JAG. He's fantastic. Not as fantastic as Happy in Leather, but we won't go there. So one of those two, loved both of them. Okay, the bonus question is, what is your favorite thing about the fandom? We are so drama-free. it literally, no one cares who your favorite character is. No one cares who your favorite ship is. Like, we may disagree some on, like, where, like, Drew sits in very different places with all of us. But he's the kind of character that's kind of to be expected. And I was going to say we disagree on Wage's pace, but I feel like everybody agrees it's going too fast. There are just some people that, or it will go too fast. There are just some people that just flat out would not like if it got anywhere this season, and there are some people that would be excited but kind of hesitant at the same time. But, like, no one's saying Wage isn't a good ship. It's just saying, like, oh, you know, maybe this was more of a season 2 finale thing. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I just really love how drama-free they are, how, you know, I made one Scorpion gift set that was just 2 gifts when I was starting to try to break into the fandom, and instantly I got like 10 followers from the Cyclone. I'm like, you guys don't know if I'm ever going to make another Scorpion post again, but everyone's like, no, if it's Scorpion, I'm digging it. I want to be a part of that. And we're just so welcoming, and I love that. So, alright, those are my answers. Feel free to elaborate on your answers as much as you want. Again, do an audio post, do a video. If you really don't want to do either of those, I mean, do a text post. I think it's fun to do stuff more like this, either audio or video, but I mean, I would rather you do a text post than not participate at all, because this is pretty fun in my experience. If anyone, I would say try to get these done before Cliffhanger airs, just because we ask questions about that. We can kind of see what everyone's thinking, and I kind of want to hear your theories, because I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, so those are mine. I will post this along with the questions, and I look forward to see what you guys say. Alrighty, bye-bye.